Notice I have the covers off of the SM916. The next thing I want to show you, if you ever run into this, is an upper sprocket replacement. There's a couple ways that I've seen it done. We're going to show you the right way and the fastest way to do it. First thing you see is I have the covers off to expose the sides. The next thing you want to do is you want to remove the console. The reason why is we're going to be tilting this machine over to do the upper sprocket replacement, and to keep from damaging the console when we do that and weight, we want to remove the console. Once you get the bolts off, reach in here and release the connector. You got the console off, set it out of your way. Once you have that done, now it's time to lean the SM916 down on the floor. Now that you have it like this, now you want to start removing the parts on the upper sprocket. The reason that you lay it like this is due to the weight. The way that we have this tilted here is to remove the upper sprocket. If you needed to replace a lower sprocket, you would remove it with the machine in its normal position. But doing it like this, all the weight is hanging down. If you were to do this in a normal position, all the weight from the steps and the change would all fall to the bottom. You'd have a nightmare on your hands. So once you have it tilted down, first thing you want to do is you want to remove the drive chain. Remove the master link, the clip. Remove the master link. You have to take a little tension off of it. Once you remove that, slide the master link out the back, and you have the step chain loosened up. You can spin it around. You can leave it on there until you pull it out, but ultimately you want to remove it once we get to that part of doing it. Once you have that removed, next thing you want to do is loosen up the bolts on the pillow blocks. Normally one person can do that, but I'm going to bring an assistant to help with this just to speed up the process. Gary, how you doing? Just fine, Jimmy. Grab your tools and jump in. All right. Loosen up the bolts. Jimmy's doing that on the other side. You see I'm doing it here. Once you get them loosened up a little bit, you can loosen up the set screw. Once you got that nice and loosened up there, then you can continue with the 9/16 bolts. You want to hold your hand under here. I'll let Jimmy get his loosened up a little more, but ultimately you want to get them ready to pop off. You want to kind of do it together.
How do you do them for the set screw? Use your tool?
Oh yeah, you made your. Once you get those, getting those loosened up, you notice the steps start hanging down. This is what you don't want to happen if you had the machine up in the air. All that weight would come down. So once he's got his loosened up, you want to go ahead and take the 9/16 bolts off. loosen his up. They come with a flat washer and of course a locking nut. Jimmy's about got his ready. You got yours ready, Jimmy?
Yeah, a second here.
He's got his off, as you can see with that. So once you you take off both sides, you got the sprocket hanging here. You want to, look at Jimmy help me on that side, you want to go out that direction, because you have, on this side here, as you notice, you have the transmission stuff, so it's easier to slide out the back end. That's yours, Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to slide this out the back end. When you pull it out, at that point you can take off your drive chain. I'm going to lay that right over here. You have to replace these. Normally the main reason you replace these is because you end up with a crack in the upper sprocket to replace that. So when you get a new one in, this is what's going to be shipped to you. Normally, on a replacement, you can replace the upper sprocket and use the same pillow block bearings. You can inspect them, but normally these are here. If there's any issues with them, you can reuse those. For purposes of this, we're going to leave these sprockets on there. You reuse the sprocket and reuse these pillow block bearings that we have in here. So one thing you always want to make sure of is that the side that the transmission's on, which the drive chain and step chain, you want to make sure that that sprocket is on your left. As you can see here, you want the double sprocket on the left side of the unit. So once you get in position, cockeye a little bit, slide it in. Get it to where you can lower it into the teeth, into the chain, like so. What you're looking for once you get it resting here is no gap in here. If you get any gap in here, it'll throw off the tracking with your steps as they're revolving, causes problems with rubbing and stuff like that. So you want to make sure once you see it the way I got it there, that means that your sprockets on both sides are sitting in the chain perfectly. Once you have it set like that, the other thing you want to make sure is that your step bearings, step shafts are above the bearing plate, which they are, as you can see here. They're above it, so now you have the right sprocket sitting in the right position. Next thing you want to install before you put your billow block bearings on is your chain tensioner. This is how you tension your chains. Make sure you always install it with the set screw towards the other pillow block bearing, which its set screw is pointing down. This one's going to be pointing up in this direction. Insert it onto the bolts. Move your pillow block around. You can make a little movement with your pillow block here. Put your washer, get your nut and washer ready to go on. I'm gonna get it started a little bit. Once you get that going, get your other nut and flat washer ready. Takes a little work to get it going, but Get it positioned like so. I'm going to go to the other side and install the pedal block, bolt and washer, and belt chain adjustment as well.